I am Slick Nick, your personal Sigma mentor. I'm fascinated by this concept of masculine frame and what that means as opposed to the more traditional stereotypes of what it means to be masculine. Well, there are actual ways that we can use a ruler and figure out ultimately what constitutes as masculine. But in doing so, I've accidentally stumbled upon the concept that in teaching the theory on masculine frame, we learned that females benefit just as much from this. But it doesn't make females masculine. It actually makes females more feminine. And I think that is quite engaging and intriguing and worth talking about. So I learned this ultimately from the past several years going to the gym every day, being there at 5:30 a.m. And I would notice that there were roughly the same number of females as males there. And they were disciplined to be there. They were doing the same hard work that it takes to actually see good done, which is doing compound exercises like the squats, the pull-ups, the stuff that most people don't want to do. Now, there were males and females doing the lazy thing. They were on their phone while they're on a treadmill or watching the news. But as far as the people actually doing something that was going to actually show results and help their body recomposition of burning fat and gaining muscle, it was just as many females as men that were disciplined and determined to get up at 5:30 and show up there every day and do the actual work. But I noticed that these females were very feminine. They celebrated that, and their energy was feminine. They weren't tomboy types, is maybe one way of saying it. The females were very feminine. They looked and acted it. And the men, who were also dedicated at that hour, doing the right kind of weight training, were very masculine. So let's talk about that, because you would think, well, wouldn't masculine energy make a female masculine, not more feminine? Well, let's break this down, because I can definitely tell you, masculine energy makes females more feminine. And I recently made a video earlier today, that's part of what inspired this video. I talked about female superheroes like Wonder Woman and Black Widow. They're very feminine, but they carry masculine energy. Masculine energy being calm, stable, and having logical solutions. Feminine energy is chaos, it's conflict, and it's emotional turmoil. There's a reason why The Bachelor is a popular show. There's a reason even Say Yes to the Dress is a feminine show. It's a bunch of chaos and conflict and emotional turmoil over what dress. And then her family members are there telling her, well, I don't like that dress on you, you should get this other one. All the commercial promos are based on this concept of chaos, conflict, and emotional turmoil. Feminine entertainment, country music, pop music, that's what we're typically seeing is feminine energy. But then when we watched Wonder Woman or Black Widow or any superhero movie that has females in it, they don't represent all of that. They're calm, they're stable, and they're providing logical solutions. Which is exactly what working out at a gym, eating the right foods, doing the right weight training, and being disciplined to do that is all about. So just making sure that we're literally on the same page, which is this page. So much of masculine identity is being in control of the 7 deadly sins, which are lust, gluttony, pride, sloth, wrath, greed, and envy. Someone who's disciplined to take care of their body and have low body fat and high muscle mass is in control of those 7 deadly sins. You might say, well, what about pride? Well, I think pride can be a good thing. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. You can be proud of your hard work without thinking you're better than other people. I've said before, be better than yourself. Be better than the version of yourself from yesterday or 6 months or a year ago. But it's not a matter of being proud. Oh, I'm better than those people because I'm slimmer than they are. I have more muscle or I'm more disciplined. No, I am better than myself, the former version of myself. That's the only. I think you can be prideful of that, internally, and that be a good motivator. That doesn't have to be a negative thing. Now, going back to my masculine traits, which I've talked about for years, being direct, being respectful, being emotionally intelligent, being a good communicator. Here it is. Healthy, fit, and well-dressed. Next, finding your identity and a unique skill set. Showing leadership skills, being confident, being funny, being committed. Well, we also see that if you're committed to weight training and body recomposition and being fit and healthy, in other words, well, some of the things that pop out is, I'd say being emotionally intelligent, because you're not being a victim thinking, why can't I be like that other person, because they seem like they don't even have to put in as much effort. And maybe they don't, maybe they have better metabolism, whatever. Maybe it's their eating habits, maybe they're moving more, whatever it is. We're not using envy, ultimately, which is one of the 7 deadly sins. We're taking responsibility and being direct and emotionally intelligent and accepting, I can control this. I can be in control instead of being controlled. And then that requires leadership. It requires you to be committed, and it ultimately ends in you being confident because you are in control of those things. A female can do all of these things, and that doesn't mean that she's going to look or act like a tomboy. What happens is, when a female does these same things, when she ultimately reduces her number of calories consumed, includes more protein in her diet, runs away from sweet and salty snacks, which are ultimately the processed food, and don't provide the fiber that the human body needs. Ultimately, what that's going to do is it's going to make her body more feminine. It's going to cause her muscles to be more toned. It's going to cause excess fat to go away, which only brings more attention to the feminine figure, is ultimately what that's going to do. It's going to cause her to look more feminine. Even though she's doing these things that are supposedly masculine, like doing these squats and doing these, pushing up the weights and doing the pull-ups, all the stuff that it requires. Those things cause her to actually look more feminine. And then guess what? Just like a man who does the same thing, she's able to wear clothing that better suits her. It better shows off her feminine figure, just like a man will better show off his masculine frame by having the body underneath to make those clothes look good. He looks more masculine, she looks more feminine. It doesn't mean that she is masculine. It means that she's more feminine. And here's the concept. When I came up specifically with the rules of these masculine traits, it didn't take long for me to realize any female is going to benefit from these masculine traits. Being more direct, more respectful, emotionally intelligent, being a better communicator, being healthy, fit, and well-dressed, finding their unique skill set in their identity, having leadership skills, being confident, being funny, and being committed. Females absolutely benefit. But they actually become more feminine through that. They do, all of those. They become more, because females are respected when they're direct. The whole lady boss concept. They're respected through that. When a woman overcomes the 7 deadly sins, lust, gluttony, pride, sloth, wrath, greed, and envy, she is going to be in a better place in life. When a female focuses on masculine energy, which is calm, stable, and providing logical solutions, as opposed to hurling into chaos and conflict, emotional turmoil, she's going to be a better feminine female. What's interesting though is, at the end of this, and this is the M. Night Shyamalan twist of this video, is that even when a female does all of these things and has all these masculine energy things that I've talked about, in this masculine frame that makes her more feminine, she still is attracted to a man who has these traits as well. Specifically, she's still needing, ultimately, in theory, a man who's still more masculine than she is, because even though she may be above average in her masculine energy, which actually makes her more feminine, she's still attracted to a guy usually who has even more masculine traits than she does. And I mentioned this in a previous video, and I'll mention it now. I am in a situation like this. I'm married to a woman who is like this, like I just described. She is very in tune to masculine energy, but yet she's extremely female. She's extremely feminine, but she's married to me. And I'm very mindful of all these masculine traits and all the hacking of how all this works. So what does that look like when we're together? Well, it means that what she needs from me is a man who is, more so than her, calm, stable, and when they are wanted, I provide the logical solutions. Often I just do the logical solutions. I don't ask or tell, I just start doing it. I know that ultimately, sometimes being stronger means to be quieter. And I've mentioned before in my video that I believe the best way for a man as far as sigma, beta, and alpha, all those things, is to always start out by being sigma, is to be your own man and do your own thing. And then take leadership next as needed, and then serve as needed. I think that's the order of how things work. So for me, married to a woman who is a high value woman, who has a lot of these masculine energy and masculine traits, but that actually make her more feminine in the process, what that means for me is I have to make sure that I am able to step up to that and be even more masculine. As far as keeping me on my toes, I'm married to a woman who's like that. And I think maybe what we're finding is high value woman means it's a woman who is very dialed in to the masculine frame, which therefore makes her more feminine, which therefore means she's attracted to men who are even more dialed into the masculine frame than she is, so that at the end of the day, she still has someone who is calmer than she is, who is more logical than she is. She's still attracted to someone who has more masculine energy than she does. I want to be very clear. A female benefits from masculine energy. It makes her more feminine. And therefore, she's attracted to a man who goes that much further in having a masculine frame. That's what I've learned from this. That's my personal experience in being married almost 16 years now to a woman who is very feminine, but has never been taught. Granted, she had 7 brothers growing up, so maybe that was part of it. But that's part of why the mutual attraction works. I'm attracted to a strong woman. And I mean that specifically as far as willpower and identity and the concept of what it means to be a strong person, high value. I'm attracted. I hardly ever dated anybody before my wife because I was that picky. I knew I wanted a certain kind of woman, and I found her. And she needed a certain kind of man. We're the right match for each other, but I think we're also very dialed into these things. And I have to be in a very masculine mindset for her to remain attracted to me. I don't have a day off. I can't be Homer Simpson. I can't eat donuts, watch sports on the couch, and drink beer and go to the bar. No, I have to be in charge of things. But she knew that about me years ago when we met, that I had what it took to be that guy. That I didn't have to be a Chad, that I didn't have to be an alpha. I could actually be a sigma and be more masculine, have more masculine energy that she needs from me and the right ways that she needs from me. I'm an Enneagram 9. My wife is an Enneagram 8. And we're married to each other and it works. And even as I make this video, I have a better understanding of why it works. Your comments belong right here.